Next, let us talk about some of the teaching methods that are used in these different teaching strategies. First, we'll talk about the autocratic teaching strategies. So, autocratic can mean teacher-centric or subject-centric. Now, these autocratic teaching strategies are called autocratic because there is no democracy here. They are being run like autocracies. And autocracy is like a dictatorship. Here, the teacher or the subject or the syllabus are deciding what needs to be taught, why it needs to be taught, and how it will be taught. The learners are not participating in the decision-making process. These autocratic strategies are also called objectivist strategies because they are running on the basis of a specific objective. The teacher decides how it needs to be taught, so the teacher's objectives are priority, or the objective might be to complete the syllabus within a specific timeline, so that becomes the objective. So these are objectivist strategies. Under autocratic strategies, the first is storytelling method. Here you are trying to tell the entire lesson like a story, and the learners are just passive listeners. They are just sitting and listening, and they are not actively participating in this teaching learning process. They are just listening to the story. A lecture method is also like a storytelling method, but in a lecture you will go more in depth into a particular topic or a particular concept. In a lecture method you can also use some slides or presentations, but it is very similar to a storytelling method. If you have to teach something where you have to give a practical demonstration or conduct an experiment, then you will use a demonstration method. Here again, the learners are not actively participating in the experiment or the demonstration. They are just passively observing it. And then comes the tutorial method. In a tutorial method, you'll divide the classroom into different groups based on their abilities. One group may consist of students who are weak in mathematics. One group may consist of students who are strong in mathematics. And then you will teach those different groups on the basis of their requirement. This group which is weak in mathematics might get some additional revision, or you might teach them the concepts again. And the group which is good in mathematics might get some higher level problems to solve. So that way, if you divide the class into groups based on their ability and teach them on the basis of their ability, that is called the tutorial method. When you are using the tutorial method, in the tutorial, you can use the demonstration method or the lecture method or the storytelling method. So these are some of the teaching methods that come under autocratic teaching strategies. Next, let us look at the methods used in democratic teaching strategies. So democratic teaching strategies are student-centric, and they are also called constructivist because here the students are actively constructing the knowledge. They are not just passive listeners, right? They are actively participating in the teaching learning process. The first one is discussion method. So discussion method is where there is a discussion happening in the classroom, and the students and the teacher are actively participating in the discussion, and together they are learning something. There is a lot of interaction happening in the classroom. Next is the heuristic method. In a heuristic method, the teacher gives a problem and encourages or guides the students on how to solve the problem. The students do some research by themselves. They can experiment with various things, and they arrive at a solution for the problem, but the teacher is guiding them so that the learners can actively participate in solving that problem. Then there is a discovery method. In a discovery method, the teacher just gives the problem and the students or the learners will find the answer or the solution by themselves. For example, if I tell you, tomorrow we need to make a sandwich in the class. So I'm leaving it up to you as to figure out how the sandwich will be made, what all things you need to make the sandwich with, and how to get them, where to buy them. So I'm giving you a problem and you are discovering the solution or the answers to that problem. So that is the discovery method. So here the difference between discovery method and heuristic method is, in discovery method, the teacher is not guiding you, whereas in a heuristic method, the teacher is actively guiding you as well. Next, if you give some project to the students, if you form groups of the students and they work with each other and solve a particular project or complete a particular project, that's a project method. Then there is a role-playing method. One child can play the role of a firefighter, and one child can play the role of a police officer. One child can play the role of a doctor. And to play that particular role, they have to learn what a doctor does, what a policeman does, what a firefighter does. Right? So they are learning through playing roles. Right? So that is role-playing method. Then there is brainstorming. Brainstorming is also like a discussion method, but this is more unstructured. So here, there are a lot of ideas that are being generated by all the people, and all the participants are actively contributing, and all the ideas are being debated. So brainstorming is like discussion method, but it is more unstructured. And finally, the question and answer method. This is also called the Socratic method. Here, there are questions, and each question has to be answered by the learners, and the teacher is actively helping them. So if you follow the question and answer method, that is called the Socratic method. In one of the next videos, we will talk in depth about the Socratic method. But as of now, these are the different teaching methods that are used in the democratic teaching strategy, which is the student-centric or the constructivist teaching strategies.